This culture is characterized by how much it can contradict itself. It thrives on living hypocritically and basing itself on ideas that are removed from common sense. This reality was impressed upon me once again as I turned to Netflix desiring to watch a documentary. I wasn't searching for a particular title. However, the cover art for a documentary whose name alludes to manhood caught my attention. The description of the film gave the impression that its intent was to profile the state of manliness in modern America and the companies whose products are catered to men. Naturally, being that I am an avowed enemy of feminism, I clicked play. I didn't finish watching the entirety of the film because I couldn't stomach what the producers were advocating for through their production. Those that were interviewed agreed that what led them to become owners of male outfitting companies was the loss of masculinity in American culture. However, as each interviewee was asked to define masculinity, almost every one of them could not accurately define it. These reduced manliness to occasional displays of etiquette and manners. Only a handful made mention of virtues and ethics. Furthermore, many stated their belief that effeminate behavior and homosexuality are compatible with manhood. Some even vilified the robustness that ought to be present in men. In one particular case, a male clothing maker acts like an irritable teenage girl, saying "like" every other word and mimicking girlishness through his body language. All in all, the documentary can be taken to represent the views espoused by a good amount of millennials and Gen Xers. These attempt to recreate the past without ever acknowledging the things that inspired what they seek to imitate and adhering to them, namely, principles. The men of Occidental culture were raised to think and act Christianly, even if many of them weren't Christians. Husbands and fathers worked hard, spent time with their children and took the time to rear them, dressed appropriately for all occasions, treated others with respect and dignity, and learned to prioritize. All this and more was the result of their understanding that adhering to ethics brought benefits to himself, for his family, and those around him. Yesteryear's man also understood that he was endowed with certain unique abilities, qualities, and tendencies which are essential to his nature as a man. Such gifts are designed and given by God. Those traits are toughness, grit, work ethic, and chivalry. These qualities serve to balance half of an equation that was also created by God: marriage. Men and women each showcase natural, innate, and distinct qualities. Men, the traits we've mentioned. Women, their tenderness, softness, affability, and nurturing sensibilities. In other words, femininity. Together, man and woman complement each other, and that's the way the Creator ordained it. It's the natural order of things. Yet, when men behave womanly and women behave manly, each are negating their natural qualities and are corrupting the normal order of things. James chapter 3, verse 6. Yet this generation loves to live licentiously, detests responsibility, and denies godliness. The result is a group of people that will dress and look like persons of the past, but devoid of the principles that guided those people. It's all a front, a display of vanity and nothing more. One more thing to point out. The current crop of young adults claim that they are progressive and embrace things like homosexuality, reversed gender roles and traits, etc. Yet, in imitating the style of their ancestors and speaking glowingly of the way they conducted themselves, modern society unwittingly admits that people in the past had it right all along compared to the way people think and act today. Think about it. How could a previous society get something right if their views were incorrect? Why imitate that culture's identity if they were so wrong? You can thank Generation Contradiction for that gem of an ideology and for altering something that didn't need changing. Men, continue being masculine. Women, continue to embrace your femininity. Through their incoherent actions, idiotic hipsters have proven that the natural order of things should be preserved. But know this. that in the last days perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, having a form of godliness, but denying its power. And from such people turn away, as they are led by various lusts, always learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. The Apostle Paul, 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 7.